Welcome to the latest episode of the Federal's Worldly Wise, a weekly podcast where we attempt to take a hard, deep look at trending international issues. I'm K.S. Dakshinamurthy. In the treacherous world of geopolitics, if there are two nations that ideally should have been strategic allies, that would have had to be India and Iran. Two ancient civilizations whose influences on each other are far deeper than one can fathom, from language and cuisine to culture and society. Over the years, the two have, on several occasions, come together in response to the situation in South Asia. For India, Iran provides the natural route to Afghanistan and further on to the Central Asian countries without having to transit through Pakistan, with whom India shares a long term hostile relationship. For Iran, too, being close to India is beneficial as it shares a long term relationship devoid of historical tensions. India is also a huge market for Iran, and that naturally benefits Tehran. With Pakistan, on the other hand, Tehran's relationship has been fractious for mainly sectarian reasons. Pakistan is Sunni dominated, while Iran is Shia ruled. Yet, despite everything that favors close ties with each other, a powerful external force has kept India and Iran at a distance under duress, which is the United States. This is the story of the last 2 decades, specifically from the time the US, under the George W. Bush administration, decided to oppose Iran's nuclear program and impose sanctions on it. The first move that hurt India-Iran relationship was New Delhi's decision to vote against Tehran at the International Atomic Energy Agency in 2005 in a resolution moved by the US. India repeated its vote against Iran in 2006 and 2007. India, then under the Manmohan Singh government, was negotiating with the US at the time to sign a civil nuclear deal with Washington, also called the 123 Agreement. That was the carrot that, among other things, forced the UPA government to bite the bullet at the expense of its relationship with Iran. Since then, Indian buckling to US pressure has come at the cost of New Delhi's autonomy and self interest, as we shall see. Some of the projects with Iran that India envisaged and even commenced either did not take off or had to be virtually abandoned, in all cases, acting on the diktat of Washington. The Chabahar port project that the Donald Trump administration had given a waiver to India against sanctions ended this week, which means India will have to defy the US and continue the project. But as expected, New Delhi has indicated it is backing off from it. The only silver lining is that it has tied up with a local Iranian partner, which will hold the strategically important project in safekeeping until the time is right for India to once again continuing to develop it, if at all. The second thing is India's oil imports from Iran, which have fluctuated depending on US sanctions on Tehran. From around 11% in 2011, it gradually went down by around half to 5.8% in 2015-16. When Barack Obama led negotiations resulted in the nuclear deal with Iran in 2015, sanctions were lifted on Tehran. India's imports from Iran immediately shot up to nearly 13%. But Trump in 2018 unilaterally abrogated the nuclear deal. and reintroduced sanctions against Iran in 2018. India's purchase of oil from Iran dropped to 10%, reducing to almost zero soon after. Now, during this ongoing US Iran war, when Trump temporarily lifted oil sanctions on Iran, India procured 4 million barrels, the first such in 7 years. Clearly, India's oil trade with Iran directly impinges on US diktat. A, a gas pipeline project that was planned to run from India um, to Iran through Pakistan had the potential to be a game changer for the entire South Asian region. This pipeline would have transported natural gas to Pakistan and India and would have strategically tied the three countries, raising the stake for peace in the neighborhood. The 2,775-kilometer long pipeline, called the Peace Pipeline, conceived in the 1990s, was abandoned in 2006-7, among other reasons, mainly under US pressure when it imposed sanctions on Iran. The next one was the Chabahar Port Zahedan railway line, linking the Iranian port to Zahedan on the Afghan border, which commenced with Indian involvement. But due to US pressure, India was not able to honor its financial commitment to the project. The result, Iran has gone ahead with the project, leaving India out of it. This is a strategically key project that would have provided easy access to Afghanistan and to Central Asia for India. The next one was the Farzad B gas field, which was an offshore Iranian gas field that India's ONGC-led consortium discovered in the Persian Gulf and was heavily involved in developing it. The field holds around 23 trillion cubic feet of gas, of which 60% can be tapped. Just imagine the kind of benefit it would have had for India. Again, under the overarching US sanctions, India was unable to effectively come to an agreement with Iran and dropped out. Iran has now given the project to other companies. India lost a great opportunity to safeguard its interests again under US pressure. These five important projects make it absolutely clear where India's interests lie vis-a-vis Iran. Unfortunately, New Delhi has sacrificed its strategic autonomy, instead preferring closeness to the US. What makes it doubly tragic is India appears to have been pulled into the US-Israel axis by force. It would require an assertive government that can stand up to the machinations of the US-Israel axis to work for genuine strategic autonomy. But that seems to be a far cry, given the submissive character of successive ruling dispensations in New Delhi. Thank you.